Good day! So ngayon magkakaroon tayo ng karugtong na lesson. Pero bago yon, please follow me on my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you! So now, we will be discussing the part 2 of lesson 5, which is about the operations on fractions. Okay, may mga ipapakita akong pictures and we have to illustrate this or convert it into fraction, like this one. So, kung makikita nyo, ang diamond ay nahati sa 4 na sides and then, lahat sila ay may shade na color violet. Next, in this circle, nahati sa 3 parts o sa 3 portion and then, isa lang ang may shade na color green. And then the last one, ang rectangle na ito ay nahati sa 10, pero kung makikita nyo, ang may shade lamang na color sky blue ay 4. So, paano ba natin ito isusulat into fraction? So, ito munang una. So, kung makikita nyo, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, lahat sila ay may shade at nahati ang diamond sa 4. So, pwede natin itong i-convert sa fraction as 4 over 4. Yung 4 na numerator ay magre-represent sa kung ilan ang may shade sa given picture. And then yung denominator, iyon yung kabuuang parts. So, ang buong part nito ay 4 or 4 and then lahat ay may shade. So, 4 over 4 or pwede nating i-divide ang 4 divided by 4. So, ang magiging sagot ay 1. Ano yung 1? Iyon yung 1 whole. Ibig sabihin, buo ang part na may shade. Next, in this circle, this is represented as 1/3. Bakit 1/3? 1 ang may shade, and then yung 3 na denominator, iyon yung bilang ng divided parts. So, 1/3. Last, this is represented as 4 over 10. 4 yung may shade, and then lahat ng parts ay 10. So, 4 over 10. Pero yung 4 over 10, pwede nyo pa yang i-simplest form. So, itong mga picture na pinakita ko, ito yung mga tinatawag na fractions. So, pag-aaralan natin ngayon ang operations o ang 4 operations in fraction. So, first, let's talk about the addition and subtraction of fractions. To add or subtract similar fractions, add or subtract the numerator and copy the common denominator. Reduce to lowest term if necessary. Add, subtract. So we have here examples. So let us add 3 over 8 plus 1 over 8. Let us subtract 4 over 6 plus 2 over 6. So let's have our solution. Add or subtract the numerators and copy the common denominator. So, meron tayong given example na 3 over 8 plus 1 over 8. Kung makapansin nyo, magkatulad ang denominator ng 3 at 1, which is yung 8. So, kapag mag-a-add tayo ng dalawang fractions na may tulad na denominator, i-add lang natin ang dalawang numerator and then kokopyahin lang natin yung denominator. So, we will just add 3 plus 1 and then copy natin yung 8. So, the answer is 4 over 8. Again, hindi nyo kailangang i-add ang denominator. And then, paano natin malalaman na final answer na yung 4 over 8? So, anong number ba yung kayang i-divide sa 4 at sa 8? Let us now reduce the answer to lowest term. So, 4 over 8 will be divided into 4. So, 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. So, 3 over 8 plus 1 over 8 is equal to 1/2. And then, let us now subtract. 4 over 6 minus 2 over 6. Again, ima-minus lang natin ang dalawang numerator and then copy the denominator. So, the answer is 2 over 6. So let us now reduce it, yung 2 over 6, into lowest term. So yung 2 at yung 6 ay i-divide natin pareho sa 2. 2 divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2. So the answer is 1/3 because 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 4 over 6 minus 2 over 6 is equal to 1/3. Now, paano naman kung ang case ng addition and subtraction of fractions ay different denominators or dissimilar fractions? Ito yung magkaiba ng denominator. So, change them to equivalent fractions by dividing the least common denominator or LCD, then apply the rules in adding or subtracting fractions with the same denominators. So, we have here examples. So, kung makapapansin nyo, yung 3 over 4 plus 1 over 6, magkaiba sila ng denominator. Yung isa 4, yung isa 6. And then, dito naman, 4 over 8 minus 5 over 12. Yung denominators ay magkaiba din. So, 8 and 12. So, let us now answer. Find the LCD. Again, kapag mag-a-add or magsusubtract tayo ng fractions na may magkaiba or dissimilar na denominator, ang una natin gagawin is to find the LCD of this given. 3 over 4 or 3/4 plus 1/6 or 1 over 6. Ang denominator na 4 at 6. So, kapag sinabing LCD, that is the least common denominator. So, paano natin aalamin yung LCD? So, una, hahanapin natin yung multiples. Ano ba yung multiples? Ito yung numbers na imumultiply natin sa 4 at sa 6. So, gagawa tayo ng table like this one. And then, isusulat natin yung dalawang denominators na magkaiba, 4 and 6. Next, imumultiply natin o itry nating imultiply yung 4 at 6 sa 1 hanggang 5 or kahit saang number. So, kapag minultiply natin yung 4 sa 1, ang sagot ay 4 pa rin. And then 6 times 1, ang sagot ay 6 pa rin. So, proceed tayo sa 4 times 2 and 6 times 2. So, sagutan natin dito sa column ng 4 at ng 6. So, 4 times 2 is equal to 8. 6 times 2 is equal to 12. Next, let us multiply the two numbers or the two denominators into 3. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. 6 times 3 is equal to 18. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. 6 times 4 is equal to 24. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. And 6 times 5 is equal to 30. So, proceed tayo o ipagpatuloy natin hanggang 6. 4 times 6 is equal to 24. And 6 times 6 is equal to 36. So, ngayon, paano natin malalaman ano yung LCD or common or least common denominator? Kapag sinabing least common, iyon yung number na pinakamaliit na may pagkakatulad ang 4 at 6. So, anong number ba yun? Anong number ang multiple ng 4 na pinakamaliit na katulad din sa 6? So, that number is 12. Pero, pinagpatuloy natin siya hanggang 6. Pero kung nakita nyo na yung LCD, which is dito sa 3 or sa times 3, hindi nyo na kailangang ipagpatuloy pa ang pagmumultiply hanggang 6. So, since nakita na natin ang LCD ng 4 at 6, so that is 12. So, we will now multiply the two given fractions into the multiples. So, since dito sa 4, nakuha natin yung 12 into multiplying 4 by 3, so magiging 3 over 3. And then, yung 6, since nakita natin yung LCD niya sa 2, imumultiply natin ang 1/6 sa 2 over 2. So, let us now answer this given equation. Change to equivalent fractions. So, kailangan magtulad na yung denominators ng dalawang fraction. So, 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Plus 1 times 2 is equal to 2. And 6 times 2 is equal to 12. So kung mapapansin nyo, nagtulad na yung kanilang denominator, which is yung LCD natin na 12. Let us now add the numerator and copy the denominator. Therefore, 9 plus 2, and then 12, copy the denominator. So 3 over 4 plus 1 over 6 is equal to 11 over 12. Saan natin nakuha yung 11? So iyon ay 9 plus 2 is equal to 11, and then copy the denominator, which is 12. So this is the answer for our first example. Let us have our next example or solution. Find the LCD of this given fraction. 4 over 8 minus 5 over 12. Again, kung mapapansin nyo, magkaiba ang denominator ng 4 at ng 5. So, we need to find the multiples. So, gagawa ulit tayo ng table. May dalawang column. The first column is 4, 8, and the second column is 4, 12. And then, ganun pa rin ang gagawin natin. Multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then, mag-i-stop tayo kapag nakita na natin ang LCD or least common denominator of 8 and 12. So, itapat na natin yung 1 times or times 1 sa 8 and 12. And then, let us now multiply it by 2. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. 12 times 2 is equal to 24. Tulad na ba? Hindi pa. So, let us continue. By 3. 8 times 3 is equal to 24, and 12 times 3 is equal to 36. Okay, nagtulad na, o meron na tayo nakitang least common denominator, and that is 24. So, let us now multiply these given fractions sa number kung saan nahanap natin yung LCD. So, let us multiply 4 over 8 by 3 over 3. Bakit 3 over 3? Dahil nakita natin ang LCD ng 8 noong minultiply natin ang 8 sa 3. So, that is 3 over 3. And then, 5 over 12 will be multiplied to 2. Dahil sa 2 natin nakita or minultiply natin ang 12 sa 2, kaya natin nakita ang LCD na 24. So, let us now change to equivalent fractions. 3 times 4, and then 3 times 8. So, 3 times 4 is equal to 12. 3 times 8 is equal to 24. Kopyahin lang natin yung minus, and then multiply. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And then 12 times 2 is equal to 24. Kung mapapansin nyo, tulad na yung denominator. So, proceed na tayo sa pagmaminus ng 12 at ng 10. Let us now subtract the numerator and copy the denominator. So, 12 minus 10 is equal to 2. And then copy the denominator, which is 24. Pero, ang 2 at 24 ay kaya pang i-divide sa parehong number. So, let us divide 2 and 24 by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 24 divided by 2 is 12. Therefore, 4 over 8 minus 5 over 12 is equal to 1 over 12. Again, saan natin nakuha yung 1 over 12? Dinivide natin ang 2 sa 2. So, the answer is 1. And then 24 divided by 2, the answer is 12. So, this is the lowest term for 2 over 24. And that is the final answer. Okay, let us try these given exercises. Add 9 over 25 plus 11 over 25. Kung mapapansin nyo, tulad sila ng denominator. So, ganun lang ang gagawin natin. Kokopyahin natin ang denominator. After nating i-add ang numerators na 9 at 11. So, the answer is 9 plus 11 is 20, and then copy natin yung 25. Pero, kaya pa natin i-divide yung 20 at 25? Saang number? Sa 5. So let us now divide. 20 divide by 5 and 25 divide by 5. So the answer is 4 over 5. And that is the lowest term. Another activity, subtract 7 over 9 minus 2 over 5. Kung mapapansin nyo, magkaiba ang denominators ng 7 at 2, which are 9 and 5. So, anong una natin gagawin? Let us find the multiples of 9 and 5. So, gagawa tayo ng table. Isulat yung 9 and 5 sa tigisang column. And iyon yung magre-represent sa times 1. So, proceed tayo sa times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 9 times 3 is 27. 5 times 3 is 15. 9 times 4 is 36. And 5 times 4 is 20. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 5 is 25. 9 times 6 is 56. 5 times 6 is 30. Again, paano natin malalaman na hihinto na tayo sa pagmamultiply? Kapag may nakita na kayong tulad na number sa column ng 9 at sa column ng 5. So, since wala pa tayo nakikitang tulad na numbers, so proceed tayo or continue tayo sa 7. 9 times 7 is 63. 5 times 7 is 35. 9 times 8 is 72. 5 times 8 is 40. So, wala pa rin tulad na or common na numbers. Continue. 9 times 9 is 81. And 5 times 9 is 45. Let us check. May nakikita na ba kayong number na o multiples na meron sa 9 at meron din sa 5? Okay, iyon yung 45. So, 45 na yung LCD ng 7 over 9 at ng 2 over 5. So, 7 over 9 minus 2 over 5 will be multiplied, pareho. So, saan natin nakuha yung 45? Saang tapat ng 9? So, iyon ay sa tapat ng 5. So, ang ilalagay natin dito is 5. And then, dito naman, sa ang tapat ng 5, so iyon ay sa 9. So, ang ilalagay na natin dito ay 9 over 9. So, let us now multiply. So, 5 times 7 is equal to 35. 5 times 9 is equal to 45. And then, kopyahin natin yung minus. And then, multiply. 2 times 9 is equal to 18. And 5 times 9 is equal to 45. Kung mapapasin nyo, tulad na sila ng denominator. So, proceed na tayo sa pagsasubtract ng numerator and then kokopyahin lang natin ang denominator. So, 35 minus 18, that is 17, and then copy the denominator which is 45. Question, anong number ang kayang i-divide sa 17 na pwede ding i-divide sa 45? Okay, wala. Dahil ang 17 ay prime number. So, kapag ang given number o ang isang number ay prime number, wala na tayong lowest term. And that is the final answer. Okay, we are now done in the addition and subtraction of fractions. Proceed na tayo sa multiplication of fractions. To multiply rational numbers in fraction form, simply multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. In symbol, A over B times C over D is equal to AC over BD, where B and D are not equal to 0. Again, kaya natin mag-divide ng dalawang fractions kapag ang denominator ay hindi 0. So, kapag may nakita kayong ganitong symbol, AC, BD, magkatabi yung mga letters, ang ibig sabihin po nun ay multiplication. So let's have the example, multiply 3/4 and 5 over 6, or 3 over 4 times 5 over 6. Again, the rule is to multiply the numerator and then multiply the denominator. So let's have our solution. So Okay, let us now multiply the numerators and then the denominators. So 3 times 5 is equal to 15, and then 4 times 6 is equal to 24. So, since kayang i-divide ang 15 at 24, we have to reduce the product to lowest term. So, let us divide 15 and 24 to 3. So, 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So, the final answer is 5 over 8. Therefore, 3/4 times 5 over 6 is equal to 5 over 8. Again, ganun lang kasimple ang pagmumultiply ng fractions. Imumultiply ang denominator, tapos imumultiply din ang denominator, and then, i-reduce natin sa lowest term. Another example, multiply 2 and 1/4 and 5 and 4 over 6. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung 2 ay whole number, ganun din ang 5. So, paano ba tayo magmumultiply ng mixed fraction? Express the mixed numbers as improper fractions. Kapag sinabing improper fractions, iyon yung mas mataas ang number sa numerator kaysa sa denominator. Itong 1/4, tinatawag yung proper fraction. So, itong mixed fractions na ito or mixed numbers, gagawin natin siyang improper fraction. So, kailangan mas malaki na yung value ng numerator sa denominator. So, paano ba naging ganito yung sagot? So, ang gagawin lang natin, 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. Kaya siya naging 9. And then, kokopyahin lang natin yung denominator na 4. So, yung 2 and 1/4 ay naging 9 over 4. So, ganun din dito. 6 times 5 is 30 plus 4 is 34. And then, kopyahin yung denominator na 6. Okay. So, mapapansin nyo, magkaiba yung 4 at yung 6. So, kapag meron na tayong mixed fraction, ito yung mixed fraction. So, kapag meron na tayong ganito, ang gagawin na natin ay yung ginawa natin kanina, multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. So, imumultiply lang natin ang 9 at 34 at ang 4 sa 6. So, the answer is 51 over 24. That is the final answer. Or in mixed fraction, this will become 12 and 3/4. Bakit siya naging 51? Ang ginawa na natin is hinanap na natin ang lowest number or lowest term ng 9 times 34 at ang 4 times 36. So, since ang lowest term o ang 24 at ang sagot sa 9 times 34 ay kayang i-divide sa 6. So, dinivide natin ang sagot ng dalawang ito sa 6. So, naging 51 over 4. And then, sa mixed numbers, ito ay naging 12 over 3/4. 12 and 3/4. Therefore, the answer is 12 and 3/4. Okay, so the last operation of fractions is the division of fractions. To divide rational numbers in fraction form, you take the reciprocal of the second fraction, called the divisor, and multiply it by the first fraction. So in symbol, a over b divided by c over d will be a over b times, yung divide na magiging times, and then yung c over d ay magiging d over c, reciprocal. Pinagpalit natin yung posisyon ng numerator at denominator. And then, after natin makuha yung reciprocal ng c over d, ay which is the d over c, imumultiply na natin yung dalawang numerator and then yung dalawang denominator. So, the answer must be AD over BC. Again, where B and D are not equal to 0. So, let's have our example. Divide 4 over 5 and 2/3. So, for the solution, 4 over 5 divided by 2/3 will be, okay, get the reciprocal of the divisor and then proceed to multiplication. Multiply the numerators, then the denominator. So, yung 4 over 5 ay 4 over 5 pa rin. And then, yung division ay magiging multiplication. And then, kunin natin ang reciprocal ng 2 over 3. At ang reciprocal nito ay 3 over 2. Binaliktad lang natin ang posisyon ng numerator and denominator. And then, proceed na tayo sa multiplication. So, 4 times 3 is equal to 12. And then, 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And then, let us reduce the product to lowest term. Saang number kayang i-divide ang 12 at 10? So, kaya silang i-divide sa 2. So, let us divide 12 divide by 2 and 10 divide by 2. Therefore, the answer is 6 over 5. Paano naging 6 over 5? 12 divide by 2 is 6 and then 10 divide by 2 is 5. So, that is the final answer. Let's have another example, or let us try these exercises. Multiply 3 over 5 and or times 4 over 9. So, yung rule natin ng multiplication, just multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. So, 3 times 4 is 12 and then 5 times 9 is 45. And then, let us reduce it into lowest term. So, since kayang i-divide ang 12 at 45 sa 3, so let us divide. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 45 divided by 3 is 15. So, the final answer is 4 over 15. Next, let us divide 3/4 and 2/5, or 3 over 4 divided by 2 over 5. So, yung 3 over 4, copy lang, and then yung division, magiging multiplication, and then yung 2/5 or 2 over 5, kukunin natin yung reciprocal, which is 5 over 2. And then proceed tayo sa multiplication. 3 times 5 and 4 times 2. The answer is 15 over 8. Bakit hindi na natin hinanap yung lowest term, katulad ng nauna? Ito ay dahil hindi na natin o walang number na kayang i-divide sa 15 na pwede din sa 8. Therefore, the final answer is 15 over 8. So let us now summarize what we have learned in this lesson. For the addition and subtraction of fractions, if two fractions have the same denominators, add or subtract the numerators and then just copy the common denominator. If the two fractions have different denominators, you need first to find the LCD and proceed to the process of addition or subtraction of the same denominators. Next, multiplication of fractions. You just have to multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. For the division of fractions, you have to first get the reciprocal of the second fraction and then multiply it by the first fraction. So, again, sana ay may natutunan kayo sa ating lesson ngayon. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or suggestions, feel free to comment below. Enjoy learning mathematics. God bless us all.